Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, I'm the man on Silver Mountain, and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about something that I see a lot of people fuss about for no reason whatsoever. And so I wanted to put some stuff across to you guys, and hopefully you'll see some benefit from this, because I know this is something that a lot of people worry about. It's something that I myself have worried about a fair amount at times in my past, and ultimately that is when a lot of our communication nowadays comes in the form of messages, and they tend to be very short, very sweet, and they tend to be really easy to just send and receive. But how many of you out there, and you can answer this question in the comments below as well, I'd be interested to see how many of you who eventually watch this video will actually have this concern, because I would imagine it would be a lot of you, but I obviously don't know. But ultimately, how many of you have sat there after you've sent a message and it seems to have just gone a little too long without a reply, and then it starts to eat at you and it starts to worry you, and you start to kind of crumple up inside, and all these scenarios start going through your head? Yeah, all of these bad scenarios. How many of you guys have experienced that? And more importantly, what have you found yourself doing to try and remedy that situation? I know people who have sat on the couch all night waiting for the phone to go. I've known people who have instantly gone into a panic and sent umpteen million messages following up on their first to try and make sure that other person is still alive. I've had people, I've known people to fly off in a rage, instantly assuming the worst about their partner, which I never really understood the leap there. But they've gone off on one only to find that their partner might have actually been in trouble or busy or doing something completely innocuous. And as a result, it all turns into a bit of a mess. But ultimately, guys, I wanted to give you 4 main reasons why people don't reply to messages. And some of these are so simple, and they're so straightforward, and they're so easy, and you probably already know them, but I wanted to just talk about them and open up the discussion on them, simply because if these are the reasons, and yet you're that guy who is flying off the handle, instantly worrying that his partner is gone off with another girl, or that girl who instantly thinks to check through every single girl that she knows that her other half has ever been with, just to see who he might be with, so that she can grill him when he gets back to her. You know, there's no good way of dealing with that situation when you turn out to be wrong. And so I just want to spare you some of that hassle, some of that hardship, some of those bad times, just by putting these out and pointing to where, you know, things are moving and where they're not. So the first one is, there are so many types of message nowadays, right? You've got email, you've got Facebook, WhatsApp, fucking Twitter, voicemails, Snapchat, Instagram, every other kind of social media on earth. Yeah, and so there is always a chance that the message that you've sent either hasn't got through because of connection issues or site maintenance or whatever else, or it's just the fact that they've had so many on that day that it's just gone unnoticed, that it's slipped by. They've opened Facebook Messenger to catch a different message that was important for work, and as a result they kind of seen yours, it's no longer highlighted, and they doesn't register. It's just not something that they've paid attention to because of so much else going on. You know, and you can't fault people for that. This is one of the things that I'm sure I'll talk about in the future, but with and to be fair, to an extent I've talked about it in the past, with the amount of communication methods that we're now able to use, and considering so many of them bombard us every single day, I've said before, one of the things that you should probably do is remove the clutter from your life, so that you have very clear, straightforward things in front of you to work with and work on. But sometimes that's not possible with these things, because they do just bombard you over and over and over again with numerous messages about all kinds of different things, depending on who you're communicating with or who wants to communicate with you, that losing track of these things can be really easy. I mean, I tend to be one of those people who doesn't delete emails, at the very most. For example, the Silver Mountain email that's down in the description for any questions and things you guys have, I tend to um, put them into folders just in case I want to refer back to them in the future, in case I want to work through what's been said. And then what that means that my main inbox is still filled up with umpteen million emails from YouTube, telling me that videos are ready to be scheduled, or videos are ready to be published, or whatever else. You know, it's a case of there's a lot going on there. Me missing one email, I tend to be quite careful with not letting that happen. But could it happen? Yeah, I could be really tired. I've not been sleeping particularly well. I've not been feeling too well the last couple of weeks to one degree or another. It could be. It's quite possible that at times when I've been looking through my emails, yeah, I might have missed one, and it might be on the second time of going back to my inbox and taking a look that I find it. In which case, if you're sending a partner a text message, a tweet, a Facebook message, email, leaving a voicemail, or whatever else, then there's a good chance that there may be a way that they have easily missed it. And so don't jump to conclusions too quick. It could just be a simple mistake. Give it some time, follow up with another message. You know, if they've just missed it, then they'll probably just go, "Oh shit, yeah, I missed it. I'm sorry," and then they'll address whatever it was that you had said to them. The second reason is that people tend to be really busy. The number of times that I would come back to my phone when I was working full time for companies where I wasn't allowed to have my phone, you know, when I was a manager and I was going off to a meeting and I had to turn my phone off and things like that. And it's a case of, with that being the case, you would have no real way of just randomly pulling your phone out and communicating with whoever it is that's trying to communicate with you, because you're too busy. People's lives now are busier than they ever have been. We're working longer, we're doing more, we're caught up in more things because there's no other option at times. And then you've got to, of course, take time for you and maintain yourself. You have to sleep, you know, and as a result, with that kind of energized, always going environment, sometimes things get left behind because they have to be. They have to be cast off as extra weight for a period. It doesn't mean that people won't come back to them and pick them up again and then continue afterwards. But for example, if you're in the gym, then there's a good chance that you won't have your phone on you. And that's self-maintenance. If you're asleep, there's a good chance you won't be picking up your phone. If you're at work and you're not allowed your phone on you, again, you're not going to have it. If you're cooking food and your phone's in the other room and you don't hear it go off and you're going to be in there for the next half hour sorting out whatever meal it is that you're sorting out, and again, you're probably going to be waiting at least half an hour for that person to get back to you. In which case, don't worry when they don't get back to you that second. And then here's another one, which is maybe not the nicest thing to say, but let's face it, people are lazy. And people will avoid hard stuff. So at times, if they see that the message that you've sent them is on a topic that's going to be a hassle, or it's going to be hard work, or it's something that they disagree with, or but don't necessarily want to just come out and straight up conflict with you, then there's a good chance that they'll just ignore the message and brush it off the next time that you bring it up. "Oh, well, I sent you a message about this, why didn't you?" They'll just brush it off because, "Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'll take a look when I get home." And then maybe when they're in a better mood to answer, then they'll go and have a look at it and answer. But people are lazy. They choose the path of least resistance. And the more self-gratification and more instant gratification kind of stuff that there is in the world means that they don't feel beholden to other people. There isn't any urgency to go and approach those things because they don't want to. And as a result, they won't. So, you know, if you think it's a tough topic, or if it's something that might conflict with someone, maybe don't expect a message back as much as you would if it was a pleasant one. But then the last reason could very well be that they just don't want to talk to you. And especially if it's the case of you're sending these messages, as are usually seen, to someone that you are romantically interested in, then it could very well just be that they're not interested in you. The easiest way to find out is to relax, send the message, and chill. Because if they care, then if they've gone through all of those other different reasons that we've already discussed, and they still don't get back to you, then maybe something horrific has gone wrong. But then that means that they might get back to you eventually, still. But otherwise, it could just be that they're not as into you as you are into them. In which case, it's easier for them to do this than try and directly conflict with you in the form of a rejection. In which case, when you're sending messages, especially when you're sending messages early on in a relationship or early on when you've just met someone or whatever else, send those messages, but then relax. Because there could be so many reasons why someone isn't getting back to you, but there could also be, if they aren't getting back to you and they never do, don't hold up on that one person, on that one thing. Don't start investing in that so far in advance. Yeah? Just relax, let it go, see how it goes. The more relaxed you are about these things, the more confident you come across, the more fun you'll have, and then maybe where they wouldn't have considered you attractive before, maybe they'll go for that because you won't be the person who frets over the fact that you're not receiving messages from them instantly as soon as you've sent one to them. You know. But anyway, I hope this is helpful, guys, because I've seen a lot of people get really, really kind of uptight and worried and panicked over this kind of stuff when it really doesn't mean all that much. And even when it does mean more than it maybe could do, it's still not something that's world-changing or world-destroying in any way, shape or form. So, you know, I hope you guys have found it useful. Again, for those of you who don't have this issue or who have dealt with it in the past and just gone beyond it and didn't need it restating, then fair enough, good for you. But this video very much for the people who maybe still are stuck in this kind of rut and still get kind of in a bit of a tizzy over not much. But there you go. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you found this at all entertaining or useful, then please drop us a like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you in the video tomorrow. Take care.